Hey everyone, and welcome to this 12th CSS3 tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a HTML5 and CSS navigation bar. And the reason I'm making this video is because every website you make, or pretty much every website, will have a navigation bar along the top of the screen. And if you're just starting out, it can take a while to work out how to do it and how to get everything to display correctly. So we're going to make a website which looks like this. And I did create a nav bar earlier, but I've deleted all the code from it. So now this is pretty much what we've got. So I'll show you the HTML first of all. The stuff in this div tag with the class main is left over from the last tutorial. And I'm going to collapse that so that it doesn't get confusing. So all we're going to be looking at in this video is the stuff between these two tabs, the nav tag. And if you didn't watch my HTML5 videos, the nav tag is a new element in HTML5. It's a semantic element, so it indicates that this has navigation links to other places on your website for the user. And what you'll notice here is I haven't actually used any classes at all here. And I'm doing that just to show you that you can style properties, or you can style elements with CSS without using classes if you want to. You'll also notice I'm using lists. This is better for making a more accessible website. It makes laying it out a lot better. But you will see that here, yeah, that doesn't look so good. So let's get started with styling it. So these styles were left over from the body part, so we can ignore those for the time being and come down here. So first of all, I'm going to create a style set for the actual main nav, and we want this to have a width of 100% so that it takes up the whole of our screen. We're going to quickly give it a background color too of, let's give it, trying to remember a color. That's either blue or green. I think it's blue. And we'll give it a box shadow. I want to keep it consistent, so I'll give it the same box shadow as I've got up here, and just a long line to type out otherwise. And we want all text on our nav bar to be white, so we'll give everything a color of white, which is just FFF. So if we save that and come here, we'll see we've now got this. Still a long way off. So next, let's target both the unordered lists in the navbar. So we're going to remove these bullet points here. So we can do that using list style type none. And this will get rid of the bullets, as you can see there. And when we want it to display inline block, and that will make these two display like that. Next, let's target the list items inside the unordered list, which is inside the navbar. And we're also going to make these display inline. Notice we're using inline, not inline block here, because we're now talking about text, not an actual block. So now we've got all this all on one line, which is good. I'm going to leave it a bit of a margin because it seems to be touching. So margin 0.5 em. And what this will do is it'll give no margin on the top and bottom, and a margin on the left or right. So this is the same as typing margin 0.5 em, like that. So you'll see, did I save that? Yeah, we see we've now got a bit of a gap between them. Except we haven't, because I spelled margin wrong. Now we've got a bit of a gap between them. But because that's the same as that, we'll keep things shorter. See, it's the same. Also, looking here, we are going to give we want these to look like buttons here when you hover over them. So to do this, we're going to give it a hover style. First, we'll give it a cursor pointer. So now when you hover over it, it will look like that. If you remember from the last tutorial, we saw that we can use the hover attribute like that, or pseudo selector. So we want this to have a background basically slightly darker than it was before. So let's give it, I don't know, 25. I think that's the right colour I was thinking of. Let's try it and see anyway. So if we come here and refresh, we'll see we now have a darker colour over here, but it doesn't look so. We really need more spacing, don't we? So we'll come here and we'll give this a padding of 1 EM, like that. If we then refresh here, we'll see it's starting to look a bit better. So next, let's move this block here to the right. We can make use of the last selector again. Sorry, this a pseudo selector again. So if we do nav ul, yeah, last child float right. That will be the second unordered list inside the nav. Will then should float right if I save that. I'm not quite sure what went wrong there, but yeah, this now floats right. And yep, that all looks good. Now let's get on to making this input box looking a little bit less ugly. So to target this, we can do nav input. That will target the input box inside the navigation bar. So let's first of all give it a background color of transparent white. We can do this by using red, green, blue, alpha. So 255, 255, 255 would usually make white, but then if we add an alpha property of say 0.3, that's going to make transparent white. So if I come over here and preview that, you'll see it looks like that. That bar is quite ugly, so let's do border none, and that's now disappeared. Black text doesn't look great either, so color, let's go with white. Yep, that looks starting to look better. The font size could be also a bit bigger, so say font size 1.2 EM. Don't forget 1 EM is standard font, so by default it'll be 1 EM, so now that is 20% bigger than what it was a moment ago. And we'll give it a height as well. Might just give it a static height. I'll change that later. And a bit of padding for the sides so that our text isn't touching. Again, we'll do padding 0 and then 0.3 or any number. So this will be top and bottom will have 0 padding, left and right will have 0.3. So now I've got a gap between there. So we'll make it a little bit longer. Let's give it a width of I don't know, 15 EM, and let's give it a margin left of 4 EM at the same time. So yep, that's starting to look better. The grey placeholder also isn't looking great, so there's a hack for this, but it's different in each browser, so I think it is for WebKit anyway. That will target the placeholder element, and then we can just put whatever colour we like, like white. I think I've made a mistake. Oh yeah, space here. So yep. And one final thing I'm going to add, because I didn't want the video to be more than 10 minutes, is we can use the focus pseudo selective that we saw in the last video to make the input look a little bit more responsive. So if we just set the background to similar to what we did above, 255, 255, 255, and then 0.4, refresh, and now when it focuses, it'll go slightly lighter. Or we could have done it 0.2 and had it slightly darker. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope that video was useful. So now you know how to do a navigation bar. Click the link below to watch the next video and subscribe to find more web coding videos. Thanks.